a great day when you're hanging around. Nothing's ever gonna bring me down. Good times are coming our way. Whenever, wherever, whatever today.
Today is going to be a great day. I am Nikki G, your host. Welcome to the Lone Doctrine, the food for thought exploration station, and your place in making today better than yesterday. This month, we've been exploring habits, really diving deep into understanding how habits affect our everyday. We may not realize it, but our habits can result in how we achieve our goals, how we make decisions, the quality of our relationships, and whether or not we constantly strive, or not, to make life the best it can be. I say this all the time, but time is limited. So why not start now? Today, I'd like to explore the concept of how we can really look closely and be honest with our personal habits. I will admit that sometimes we may not want to admit that we have what we call, most of the time, a bad habit. We'd rather sit and binge watch TV, and then we realize several hours have gone by, and we're wondering why can't we stick to going to the gym. That's just one of many scenarios, but a core piece of why we might be constantly getting distracted is because of our habits. Let's be truthful, we all have bad habits of some sort. We constantly come up against bad habits, sometimes daily. But each day, we have a choice. Are we going to continue on the merry-go-round, or are we going to make the effort to see them coming and make the change? I'm not saying it's easy, but I'm saying it's worth it. Insecurity, fear of failing, being scared of the unknown. I'm sure some of us could list a long list of why nots, but it's time to stop standing in your own way. I say this with love and support. It's time to give yourself permission to change. First, how do habits begin? It's repetition. It's something that is done, an action or even a thought that ends up on repeat. Have you ever gotten a song stuck in your head? Well, habits can work the same way, especially when it comes to our thoughts. You can get stuck with a negative thought in your head on repeat. The most actionable and practical step to preventing bad habits is to recognize them before they have a chance to be set on repeat. I'd say most of the time, we know when something is good or bad, either by the way we feel or whether it's lifting yourself or even others up or down. We have to start with honesty. Is what we're doing or thinking good or bad for you, for us? Being aware is one of the most powerful steps because it's then and there we can stop the bad habit in its tracks before it even gets harder to get that song out of your head, so to speak. Once you're aware, look around and observe the environment. What's happening? Who are you with? Are you at home? Are you bored? Have you turned to binge watching TV? Are you out at a bar all of a sudden, partaking in more drinking and substance intake than planned? Identify the triggers. We all have them, but by knowing them, you're one step closer to ridding a bad habit. Sometimes it helps to write it down, to see it as clear as day, because life moves fast. I notice when I have a bad habit, I'm quickly on to the next thing in life, not even giving the bad habit the attention it needs. And the next thing I know, I'm doing it again. Can you relate?
Oops.
Writing it down can narrow down where you might need to switch a habit in order to prevent the bad habit. Does that make sense? For example, I tend to bite my nails while I'm watching a movie. Why? Because I'm anxious. It's really difficult for me to sit still. And if I'm not engaged in the movie, I get anxious. Then I start biting away. This is a bad habit. And so I've recognized one of my triggers. Movies, boredom, anxiety. And so now when I watch a movie, I bring toothpicks with me to chew on. Seems simple, but it's so effective. And even though this habit may not be as quote unquote bad as some, the steps I took can work for most anything. Everyone has bad habits. And on a more serious note, it's important to address these patterns, the triggers, before it becomes increasingly difficult to break the habit. Too many times I've seen a simple, innocent action be the gateway to addiction and other psychological disorders. To be aware, to be smart and responsible is more important than you may realize. If you feel you are suffering from a life-threatening habit, please reach out to your local clinics and seek professional help. There is strength in reaching out. You are not alone, and there are people who are willing to help. You can also call the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Hotline 24 hours a day, 365 days a year at 1-800-662-4357. That's 1-800-662-4357. They will help find a referral treatment center near you, whether you're an individual or families facing mental and or substance abuse. You are not alone, and I've seen one too many times pride or even shame get in the way of people getting help. There's courage in facing your challenges and even more bravery in doing whatever it takes to get yourself living a healthier life. Again, a manageable step in changing a habit is understanding habits and yourself better. As we continue to explore the topic of habits, I wanted to share a book I stumbled upon called Atomic Habits by James Clear. So let's explore. What you repeatedly do when you spend time thinking about and doing each day ultimately forms the person you are, the things you believe, and the personality that you portray. But what if you want to improve? What if you want to form a new habit? How do you go about doing that? Turns out there's a helpful framework that can make it easier to stick to new habits so you can improve your health, your work, and your life in general. Let's talk about some of that framework. The process of building a habit can be divided into 4 simple steps. Now, this could be found in Atomic Habits: cue, craving, response, and reward. Breaking it down into these fundamental parts can help us understand what a habit is, how it works, and how to improve it. First, there is the cue. The cue triggers your brain to initiate a behavior. It is a bit of information that predicts a reward. Cravings are the second step of the habit loop, and they are the motivational force behind every habit. Without some level of motivation or desire, without craving a change, we have no reason to act. The third step is the response. The response is the actual habit you perform, which can take the form of a thought or an action. Finally, the response delivers a reward. Rewards are the end goal of every habit. The cue is about noticing the reward. The craving is about wanting the reward. The response is about obtaining the reward. We chase rewards because they serve 2 purposes. 1, they satisfy us, and 2, they teach us. So in the book Atomic Habits, he relates the cycle of habits building with some real-life examples. Okay, let's take some realistic scenarios. Your phone buzzes with a new text message. That's the cue. The craving is you want to learn the contents of that message. Then the response is you grab your phone and you read the text. Now your reward is you satisfied yourself with the craving to read the message. Grabbing your phone becomes associated with phone buzzing. Here's another one. You wake up. You want to feel alert. So then you go and drink a cup of coffee. You satisfied your craving to feel alert by drinking coffee, which becomes associated with waking up. So here's the cue. You smell a donut shop as you walk down the street. You begin to crave a donut. Remember, that's the craving. The response is you buy a donut and you eat it. So what is the reward? How does that all tie in? You satisfied your craving to eat a donut. Buying a donut becomes associated with walking down the street near wherever the donut shop is. Now, you can correlate that to anything that you're craving, anything that you've made a habit of eating almost every day, if not every day. So as you can see, the idea is it's a cycle. It goes from the cue to the craving to the response to the reward. And it goes over and over and over again with many different aspects of our life. So how do we change a habit according to this idea? Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. Make the satisfying part be the reward. How do we break a bad habit? According to this same idea. Make it invisible. Make it unattractive. Make it difficult. Make it unsatisfying. Ask yourself these questions and create a method, a means, and a pathway towards making and breaking habits. If this idea resonated with you or even sparked a bit of curiosity, definitely check out the book Atomic Habits. Books are an amazing way to make today better than yesterday. Now, you might be thinking, who has time to read? As a Lone Doctrine listener, you can get a free trial to Audibles. Audibles through Amazon is in part our sponsor and provides thousands of books at the tip of your finger. You can access so much food for thought through your computer, tablet, and even your smartphone. Now, truth be told, Audibles is awesome. I'm always on the go. It's always with me, and it constantly creates an environment where I can keep learning, thriving, and most importantly, keep my mind on the right track. I can listen on a walk, in the car, exercising, even traveling. I highly recommend checking it out. Just go to lonedoctrine.com, and in the resource section, you can sign up for a free trial. It's super easy, and you can cancel at any time, and it's a very, very dependable company. And the great thing is when you do sign up, you're not only adding this ultimate resource to your betterment, but you're also helping the Lone Doctrine stay on air. So visit lonedoctrine.com and in the resource section, make your day better than yesterday. I'm a big book nerd, and although you can't learn everything from books, sometimes we just need to experience life. You sure can find seeds of greatness towards helping you succeed. I've always been a sponge. I have been that why kid. And my mission is to share my passions with you and what makes us tick, what makes you tick. And as we keep exploring forward, I hope that you'll put what we've shared together throughout all these podcasts into action. Even to just try it out, explore, and find what works best for you, your Lone Doctrine. So, this week, take a good look at your habits. Be honest. What habits could you add and what habits could you subtract? The better you understand the ins and outs, the more likely you'll be able to create and stick to good habits. If you'd like to share your thoughts, we'd love to hear from you. So join us on our Facebook page at Lone Doctrine or most social media outlets. I love hearing from you, and I am a firm believer that together we are better. Oh, one more thing. If you found value and can think of someone that might also find value from this episode, we'd appreciate you sending out the good word. Give us a share because we truly hope to make today better than yesterday. And until next time, keep fighting the good fight.